And Joe DioGuardi is joining us this evening. Thanks very much for your time.
Thank you, Liz.
So this race is actually heating up rather quickly and taking sort of a nasty turn, if you will.
It's only 3 weeks to go. What did you expect?
Well, I don't know. I guess I didn't expect it to get so negative so fast.
Well, I just won the primary.
You did?
We didn't know who was going to be the one to run against her.
It's true.
That's the trouble with New York State. I ran all summer long with 2 people, and people couldn't focus on me until after the primary.
Well, you are trading some verbal barbs with your opponent, Senator Kirsten Gillibrand. Can we just take a listen to something that she had to say yesterday, if you don't mind? Okay.
Sure. Joe DioGuardi doesn't have a real relationship with facts. I think he's someone who has his own record of issues that need to be shown to New Yorkers, a record of being a lobbyist, a record of being a former congressman with a voting record, of really being out of step with core values for New York.
Okay, so apparently that makes you upset. A volunteer lobbyist, you say?
Well, not a paid lobbyist. You know, when she was advising the tobacco industry, guess what Joe DioGuardi was doing? Risking his life, 30 trips to the Balkans, unpaid, to save the Albanian people from genocide. 20 years. I took my congressional agenda when I introduced resolutions, had hearings against this new age Hitler, Milosevic. Continued it. From 1989, I set up a volunteer lobby called the Albanian American Civic League. And after 20 years, in the year 2008, guess what happened? President George W. Bush recognized a new state called Kosovo. And that's what now is protecting the people.
But you're still a registered lobbyist for them, are you not?
But unpaid, you cannot talk to anybody in Congress, House or Senate or White House, unless you file quarterly who you spoke to. I'm not a foreign agent. Nobody pays me from outside. Nobody pays me from America. But if you have contacts, the law says you must report those quarterly to, it's the Secretary of the Senate and the Clerk of the House.
Okay.
And it's all a record.
But when she's also talking about your past, I mean, there's a number of things actually that the campaign is bringing up. Now, they have not actually, that I've seen, launched a massive statewide attack ad, but they have been sending out some press releases to journalists. Who is Joe DioGuardi? And again, you have a long career as a big spending congressman, international lobbyist, tax dodging CPA, and that you have often drawn attention from federal authorities.
And you believe this?
I'm just asking you about it. I'm not saying I believe it or not.
Okay, ask a question.
Okay, so you did, in fact, at one point get audited by the IRS and had a problem paying your back taxes on that.
I filed tax returns from when I was a waiter that goes back to 1958. So you count the years until today. I was audited 1 year, 1976 or 78. I forget the particular year. And guess what? If you look at the dates she put in there, most people think this was 1992. It took 14 years for the IRS to see it my way and 3 other partners in Arthur Anderson. When we were at risk, we put money, skin in the game, to do commodities trading on silver, and we used the tax laws before 1986 to do that. The IRS thought we were taking package deals.
Yeah, they said the entire transaction lacked economic reality.
That's what she said.
No, that's what the IRS said.
But that's what they said in 1992. They cried uncle and said, let's settle this. No fines, no penalties. We paid the tax, a minimal amount.
You paid $20,468.
Including interest after 14 years. Just to get rid of that, and they wanted to do it.
So you're saying that this should not be this shouldn't be considered when the voters consider you. They shouldn't consider this issue.
It's a routine audit. People get audited, routine audit, and we prevailed.
And that nothing was done. Nothing was done wrong.
Absolutely nothing.
So you don't think that it would impact your ability to, for example, vote on tax policy?
Not at all. Talk to Charlie Rangel, not Joe DioGuardi.
Yeah, well, Charlie Rangel is not running for the U.S. Senate.
He's running for the House, apparently, and that's a good question for him. He was the head of the tax committee. Now, an international lobbyist, a human rights activist, you must register. I was not paid, and we saved maybe 1 million Albanian people from the genocide of Bosnia while she was protecting and advising the tobacco industry when they were perjuring themselves before the Congress for over 10 years. This is a 10-year tenure she had with that law firm. Okay? You know what tobacco costs us today in New York State? $8 billion a year. You know how many people died from tobacco in New York State last year? 25,000. I would think you'd have to ask her, why isn't that on her resume or on her CV.
So you think that she should be more forthcoming about what she did in private practice?
Why not?
So it's fair for you to ask those questions of her. Is it fair of her to ask the questions of you
Sure.
when you were outside of conversation?
I've given you my answer, and she should give you her answer.
She also is saying that you violated election law.
When?
Well, let's see. In 1998, you knowingly and willfully violated election law by
You're talking about
expecting...
1988?
88, yes.
Okay, 88, Nita Lowy, who beat me just by a few thousand votes, did something illegal. She put in 250,000, didn't report it on a 24-hour report in the last 10 days of the campaign, so we couldn't respond, okay? She was the only one that was fined.
But what
I was never charged.
What does this have to do with you?
Well, I don't know. I'm the one who asked for the investigation. There's a letter that I can give you that I asked for this investigation to clear it, because I said to myself, if, God forbid, I lose this, I'm going to run again. I didn't know that Mr. Cuomo would protect his friend Lowy and redistrict me into Queens, where they came out of. But there was no fine. There was no charge. She was the only one fined. Nita Lowy. Why is this an issue?
Well, I don't know.
Because it was on TV, ads, 250,000.
I think the issue is that they're using your past against you because you've been out of office for quite some time. But now you're going to be soon, actually, on the 21st, facing off in a debate. So we'll have the opportunity to see that happen.
And I can't wait.
You can't wait. What will you be asking her?
Well, we'll wait. There's a lot to ask. A lot. And I think you got a hint.
So you'll be bringing up the tobacco issue.
Why not?
You'll be bringing up the transparency issue.
Transparency, absolutely. She's still hung at $14 trillion of debt when we know it's $63 trillion.
You know, she says that you are out of step with New Yorkers. One of the things that you have said in terms of your position is regarding abortion rights. Is it true, in fact, that you are not in favor of abortion rights in cases of rape and incest?
False. What she's doing is taking a bill on funding. I'm a fiscal conservative. I will not allow funding for abortions in any case. But I believe life is precious. I believe that when some horrific event happens, some traumatic event involving rape, incest, the death of the mother, you need to, in good conscience, give the benefit of the doubt to the choice at that point, but not for funding.
So you believe in no public funding at all for abortion?
Absolutely.
Okay, so you would vote no on any bill that provided any kind of funding at all, even for early abortions early on?
Yes. I believe that life is precious. I believe the issue is the outlandish number of unwanted pregnancies in America, and I think we have to find alternatives like adoption. Why are we going to China to find babies, or Romania, or South America? There has to be a much better public policy on this.
Do you support Carl Palladino for governor?
Did he win did he go before the people and win the Republican, the conservative, and the taxpayer?
Well, he didn't win the conservative line, actually, in the primary, but now he has
well, let's take the Republican. He made his case. He wasn't nominated, neither was I. I made my case. We're both now the people's choice. Now, we have another test. Will he be governor? Will I be senator? Isn't that up to the people to decide?
So do you support him?
Would I vote for him? Yes. He's a Republican.
And what about some of the statements he's made, like calling Assembly Speaker Sheldon Silver a criminal, for example?
We have different styles. And Liz, we have different tools. He wants to bring a baseball bat to Albany. I want to bring a sharp pencil to Washington. I'm a CPA.
So would you repudiate those statements then? I mean, just
they're not my statements. Listen.
Well, I understand, but he is the standard bearer of your party. He's at the top of the ticket. He sort of is right there at the top of the ticket.
And those statements he has to be held accountable for to the people that will vote for him. Okay? And I think that's where it's at. This is a democracy.
But do you agree with them, just to be clear, do you agree with some of those statements?
No, I wouldn't agree with that kind of language, no.
Okay. And so do you think you should apologize for it?
Well, I don't know. It's up to him. It's up to him. He felt that the people supporting him are so disaffected, so disenfranchised, so mad that they want to change everything. And he feels he's representing them by speaking like that. That's his choice.
But do you feel that the voters are that angry?
Absolutely. But I wouldn't go that far.
You think they should actually arm themselves with pencils and not with baseball bats?
Absolutely.
Okay. Well, Mr. DioGuardi, we are going to be seeing you on October 21st. It is going to be a debate.
I'm happy to hear that for the first time today.
Well, is that, I'm sorry.
I thought I had one debate scheduled at WABC, and now I know I have two.
Now you do have two.
I've asked for many more.
My understanding is that we are going to be seeing you on that date. It's going to be right here in the Capital Region, so I look forward to that.
And I look forward to it.
I thank you for joining me.
Thank you, Liz.